Okay, now the really fun part is the actual interaction with the families. That's when you say, I mean, that's like why we keep doing our job, is because interacting with the kids and the parents, or the engagement couple, whatever, it's so rewarding to be out there with them creating something memorable. And Tyler and I have really, really worked on getting activities that will loosen people up, especially for video. It's a lot different than a photo. You can click and then the picture's done, but this is video. They're constantly being videoed, and that can make them nervous.
Yeah, exactly. So we love interacting with the families, and I think if you love it and try to have fun, the video is going to be a lot better because it's not like photo where they could just smile and then go back to being angry at each other. They actually kind of have to be in a good mood for the entire session. So, yeah, we'll talk about some things that we do to try to get the family upbeat and happy. But to go back a bit, I think one of the most important things that we do is make sure that our sessions are short. So the more drawn out the session is, the more time that you're spending fiddling with your camera or with your equipment, the more out of the moment your family becomes, and the less fun that it is for you and the less fun it is for them. And as a result, I think that shows up in video.
So right from when the family arrives to when they get back into their car, you need to be very engaged and active, very interested in their lives. What are you doing? Oh, I like your clothes. I don't know what else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you have taken pictures of families, most likely, where they showed up in a bad mood. And in pictures, it's essential to get them in a good mood, but in video, it's even more important to get them in a good mood. So, I think the main thing is to treat people nicely, even though it seems probably obvious, but anything you can do to relieve the stress. Like so many times people walk out of the cars and you could see them like actually a little bit tense. Picture day, I don't know what it is about picture day, but picture day sucks.
Yeah.
It's such a hard day. Like it's just for the mother, there's everyone, but I think the mom in particular in general has so much stress riding on it because maybe she had to convince the dad to come along. She did all the wardrobe. She helped the kids get ready. And then on the way there, everyone's in a bad mood. So like really, I think the most important thing you could do to get people in a good mood is take time at the beginning of the session to actually try to get people in a good mood. So the first thing that you can do is you could notice what they're wearing. And most everybody comes to your shoot looking pretty darn good. So you could just tell them, hey, you look amazing. Or, hey, I like your shoes. Your hair is really nice. Yeah.
Anything. And even the tone of your voice really matters. We find that the more animated and excited, and you can sort of hear a smile in your voice, they love that and they eat that up. As a woman shooting, I tend to focus a lot immediately on the dad and the boys of the family because I know that they had to be convinced to be there. And as a man, it may be the same or different. I'm not sure.
No, it's the same. I focus a lot on whoever looks grouchy. And that's a lot of times the dad. And I'll just make stupid jokes like I'll say, hey, you did a great job on wardrobe. Just, because some do, but not the grouchy ones. No dad that shows up grouchy or is responsible for wardrobe.
They like that joke. They really
just really silly stuff to get them in the mood. I'll make sure to really interact positively with their kids. Joke around with that's another way to really get a dad in a good mood, I think, is if he sees that his kids are responding positively to you and that you're being kind to his kids. Most dads like their kids, and so it makes them happy whether or not they want to be happy.
Yeah. So all that positivity has to last the entire session, which is easy enough to do if you have sort of a game plan.
Yes.
And Tyler and I are super duper big on game plans.
Yes. If you don't have a game plan in video, you're probably not going to be able to be like stress-free and happy. You're probably going to spend the entire time thinking, crap, what's coming next? Crap, this is not going well. Crap, this is being screwed up. And you communicate that to your family. So yeah, the most important thing you can do is sort of know, I think I might have already said the most important thing. So maybe the second most important thing you could do is know what you're getting into before you show up.
For example, you'll want to know what ages the kids are in the family, what the family consists of, the general dynamics that you can have when you go, or maybe you don't bring this list of potential shoot ideas, but you will have already thought about it and have a game plan and are ready. So, like, for example, we usually figure out what the family is like, and then we will have a list of successful shots that we've done before that we're going to do again, and we'll write them all out. So it's sort of like storyboarding. I'm sure you've heard of storyboarding, but instead of storyboarding like all beautiful, you just really need those ideas written down, such as walking, holding hands to and from, panning across their feet while their feet wiggle to a beat. Doesn't matter what beat, it'll fit. It
Or
always works.
you might do the thing with a small child where you have the parents swing them, but you're gonna know immediately that if the kid is 15,
No,
unless the parents work out a lot, there's probably not gonna be a lot of swinging.
awkward. What are some other shots we frequently? Oh, we frequently, since we shoot in nature a lot, there's a lot of nature-based shots, like a child sort of, what would you call this?
Touching.
Touching tall grasses. Thank you.
Yes.
Or blowing on a dandelion, or just kids with their heads all in long grass in a circle.
So I think what Wendy is saying is that we have both like kind of posy ideas, and then we also have some detail ideas. So
Yes.
both of those are good to have ahead of time.
Well said. The detail shots are really important, and that's the great thing about video. If you were to see a video like one that we capture or any other videographer will capture, it's so much. It's just like a lot of beauty. And the thing is it's easy to get the beauty.
I personally consider us photographers. I'm going to trademark that.
I've
Sorry,
never
go ahead.
heard that term.
Yeah.
Okay, so one game that I use almost every single time is the 1, 2, 3 game. And this is really easy and probably really stupid, but it works every time. So what I do is I tell the family I'm going to count to 3, and then I'm going to shout out something, and they all have to do it. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, hug everyone, and everyone just like comes together in a nice huggy clump. It's very cute. I use it all the time. Or 1, 2, 3, kiss the baby, and they'll all kiss the baby. Whatever it is, you can make up any direction, but they hang on it. All the little kids are just like 1, 2, 3. I'm ready, and they look engaged. Everyone's very into it. Perfect game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked earlier about how you have to sort of tailor your games, well, your game plan, nice save, to the age of your kids, the kids that are there. So if you have a 2-year-old, you play the 1, 2, 3 game. But if I have just a 16-year-old, I also play the 1, 2, 3 game. And it's silly and stupid, and you just have to make it obvious to them that you know that it's silly and stupid, and then they're willing to play along.
Yeah, Tyler's really good at that.
At being silly and stupid.
Well,
Backhanded compliment.
No, I meant more that you're really good at interacting with teenagers in a silly enough way that they think it's silly
Oh,
and
okay.
funny.
So that was a front-handed compliment.
It was just a compliment.
I think that's what we call just a compliment. Another game that I played, which if you think about this, which don't, it's the exact same game that Wendy plays, but this way I get to play it twice. And the game that I play, as well as the 1, 2, 3 game, is the Don't You Dare game. And it's basically the 1, 2, 3 game with a twist of reverse psychology. So I'll set it up like this. I'll say, this is how we play the game. I'm going to say to you, don't you dare do something. And whatever I say not to do, you're going to, and they say, do. Yeah, you guys are so smart. And then the part that the kids really like is the part where I say, after you do it, I'm going to say, what are you doing? And I just yell at them. It's fun for me. Let's off some steam. And the kids like to be yelled at, I guess. I don't know.
They
do.
They giggle
it's
at
fun.
you.
It's fun because we all know it's part of a game, right? So
don't you dare kiss your dad.
yeah, and then they kiss the dad, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Now, if you don't explain the game beforehand, it might be a little bit more offensive. I haven't tried.
Well, you always do.
So that's the what are you doing game. I mean, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another thing I do is if there are multiple members of the family, which there usually are, I will say like, who in your family is the messiest? And they'll all point to someone. And then as it gets going, hug the person in the family who eats the unhealthiest foods, or hug the person in the family who's the best at singing, or tickle the person who's got the stinkiest diaper, or whatever. They love that stuff. You just have to be excited and engaging, and they will do whatever you say. I use this technique on him.
Yeah, it really works. Except not. Except maybe? Because I didn't know she used it on me until right now, so apparently it's been working. Okay, so what were we... There was something else we said we were going to include in this. Another difference between video and photo is that your shots have to last longer, right? So with photo, you're going to pose and then you might immediately break out of that pose, go to the next thing. In video, you try to have poses that are going to last longer, such as walk to the rock, then sit down, then talk, or sit down with each other on this blanket and then talk to each other a little bit, then hug, then have a little tickle fight, stuff that will really last longer than for photos. So that's important. Mm-hmm. And another thing that we do in video, which I don't think we did we? We sort of did, actually. No, we didn't. Another thing that we did. That's fun. I was going to say the shot where you cut things together. That's not in the video that we're going to show, right?
I did take that.
I know,
footage,
but we didn't. Yeah, didn't make
didn't
it.
End up.
But I guess we do have the footage, so we could show you.
Yeah.
If we wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the time what we do is we sort of just intentionally shoot the same scene from a lot of different angles, and we have the subject within the scene in different places, and then we kind of cut it so that they.
I think the official word is splice.
Well, you first cut it, then you splice it. If we're going to get technical.
We are. Yeah, sorry, go
on. So yeah, and then you have this just this kind of weirdo thing at the end, which maybe we'll show you. Maybe we'll just cut this type or splice this out. See what I did there?
So what you're saying is it looks like one person standing there, and then suddenly another person standing there, and another. And
yeah,
another.
I don't know if we really want to include that, but yeah.
All right, well.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so is that it for posing and activities, or should we talk more? I'm always a fan of talking more.
Well, like you were saying, it's when the video stuff takes a little bit longer. The other thing is that going to a destination, like to go sit on a picnic blanket or to go across the bridge, can be the actual clip.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Think about it. Do you want that clip in your video?
We also do like a lot of photo and video combining, and we did this in the shoot, so you'll see it. But let's say we're videoing the family coming across the bridge. They get there, switch, photo.
Exactly.
Switch, video. It's so easy and it's so organic. While we're on the subject, to switch, all you have to do is go from manual mode where you're shooting at 1/50th of a second all the time, to manual mode when you're shooting and balancing the meter. So it's really easy. We actually go from manual mode for video to aperture mode because we shoot all our photos in aperture mode. I bet they didn't know that.
I bet they did.
So
I don't know how. This is kind of stalkerish.
So we'd like to point out that if you do want to eventually market and earn more money by doing photo and video sessions, it's totally doable. We do it all the time. In fact, we never do a video session alone. We always do photo video. Just by switching lenses, making the movement happen for the video and the still part for the photo, generally speaking, it works.
And another thing that people don't often know is that we actually shoot our own sessions. So during a photo video session, we're not both there. One of us is doing both photo and video. So don't be like, well, yeah, it's easy for you, but I'm one person.
Yeah, well, we're one person
We're
too.
two people divided in half.
That's what I mean.
One.
Okay, so yes. So again, let's just review. Before you go to the shoot, please write down a list of shots that you have seen or have thought up yourself and have that fresh in your memory. Sometimes we write a list of things. We get out our cell phones, we take a picture of the list. Don't have to carry it on the paper.
Don't, because paper's heavy. Also, with photo, I know we've touched on this, but just to emphasize it, did I say video or photo?
I don't know.
With video, I know we've touched on this, but just to emphasize it, it's really, really important that you tell a story throughout the shoot. So your shoot will look different. And Wendy's talked about how you might take the footage of the family walking toward the blanket. Then you take the photo of the video of them on the blanket. Then you take the video of their feet hanging off the blanket. You want to tell a story. So you need to have in mind the fact that your entire shoot will look a little bit different than with photo, because with photo you're not really telling a story necessarily. You're giving an image or a little tiny piece of the day, and that can stand by itself. But with video, one little piece cannot stand by itself.
That's right. And in some cases, we'll get a client who have a story in mind they want to tell. They'll bring props and they'll bring things that kind of create that storyline or storyboard that they want.
Yeah,
But
sure.
the vast majority of the time, our storyline goes like this: family togetherness, loving, out on an adventure, showing closeness. And that's it. And that's why people hire us, is because they've seen that storyline and they want that for their family. And we'll do it again and again and again. And it just gets easier and shorter and quicker and better every time.
Yes, absolutely.
So be open to clients' ideas. But if you're open to the idea, sure, Jane, bring a hot chocolate feast, cookies and milk and all this stuff. But this is what the end needs to be like. Just educate them in that it's not a long video. It's not a very complicated video. It's going to have this feeling with their ideas.
Absolutely.